That's a bummer. Going down that way. See if we can find the river. Tammy's looking for black walnuts, but I don't think she found any.
So someday when my ship comes in, I know just what we'll do. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for two. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for two.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is part 3 of our trip to Bloody Basin Road, and we're going to take the quad out and explore around the Agua Fria National Monument. Now, if you've never been to this place before, I'll show you some maps. Stay tuned at the end. I'll give you some more information also. So if you've never been here, I'll tell you a little bit about it at the end. But you're going to get off on Bloody Basin Road. There's another exit south you can take to on Badger Springs. But when you cannot get off Bloody Basin Road, there's an offload area right off to the right that you see there. That's for like people with that want to ride for the day in ATVs. If you want to do some camping though, watch as I go down this road coming up here. The road that I'm going to be going down on Google Maps is called Tonalea Road, but it does have a number designation. I can't think of it right off the top of my head. It's like 9218. I do put a little map here in a second. It'll pop up. There it is. It's a 9269, 9168. If you can see that little map right there. But most of the maps on Google call it Tonalea Road, Tonelea Road, Tonalea. And there's some dispersed camping going up this road. I'll show you some in just a second. In fact, that's why we were coming, because we might want to come back here later on and try one of these spots. When the weather's nice, these spots do fill up. And there's probably, I'm going to guess, about 5 or 6 nice spots altogether, and they're kind of spaced out enough where you're not going to be like right next to somebody. There's some spots that are big enough if you bring a group with you and you want to camp together with somebody. There's room enough. Like you see off to the right there, there's a camper and a trailer, and then off to the left is a camper van over there on the other side of the road. So there is lots of room to kind of spread out here, and the road isn't really too bad. Most of these roads are graded and well maintained. There's a few places when you get off the road does get a little bit rough. But I wouldn't say you need four-wheel drive unless you really start getting off in the back country. This is a little spot too we looked at. My only concern was the little bump going in, but I don't think it would be too big of a problem for us if we brought the motorhome out here. This is a really nice little spot here. In fact, this is big enough you could get 3 or 4 people back here if you had a group. Even somebody kind enough to leave you a little firing right there. But this altitude here is about 3,500 feet. So the spring, late winter, spring, before it starts getting too hot in the summertime, it does get warm up here in the summer or in the fall. This is a great spot. It's about 10-12 degrees cooler than Phoenix up here. So if it's 100 degrees in Phoenix, it probably will hit the 90s here, low 90s, high 80s. So go up the road a little farther. There's a couple more spots you'll see off to the side here. It's a pretty little area. In fact, this road takes you into the north part of Cordes Lakes. We'll keep going right up in there in just a second. So it's kind of nice if you do camp along here and you need supplies. It's not too far to get into Cordes Lakes if you need to go in and run and get ice and stuff. Here's another spot off to the right we pulled in. And you could camp right in here, where you see here. There's a little spot there. Looks like somebody's camped there. And if you want to get a little more remote and get a little more privacy, keep going down this road. It's not too bad. It's a van or Maybe a Class C could make it back here. I don't know if I'd take anything really big back here. Just for the simple reason there's not a lot of space back here to turn around. I guess the only negative thing to say about it, not really negative, but it's just the area is not a lot of shade. So if you come out here in the wintertime, it won't be too bad. But if you want some shade, you'll need to have like an easy up or something to put up, or a awning to put out, so you have some shade. Not a lot of trees. However, if you stay on this road, I did see a neat little spot over this hill, and there was a gentleman back here in a fifth wheel. And so if you come back a little bit farther on this road, you'll find a nice little spot. And this is still Agua Fria National Monument. See him off to the left there. Few little trees right there, nothing major, but there are a few little trees in that little dip right there. Now this is Agua Fria right here, but as soon as you start going up this hill, it goes from Agua Fria National Monument to State Trust Land. Kind of up here where I make the curve. And before you get into Cordes Lakes, it's State Trust Land. You'll see a little sign. Watch off to the left, you'll see a little sign. It'll say leaving Agua Fria National Monument, coming up here in just a second. But the weather was so nice. It was like a crystal clear day. And I think it was like, 78 degrees. Just beautiful. There's the little sign, see it? Leaving Agua Fria. Then there's this little spot at the top of the hill, but if you can see the little map in the corner, this is State Trust Land. So just a little heads up, if you do camp here, make sure you got a permit, in case the sheriff comes up and asks you for a permit. Who knows, sometimes they might do that. Isn't that pretty? That's like looking all the way to Flagstaff right there. What a view. And just for fun, we drove down into a little bit. We drove into a little bit of Cordes Lakes here. So this is the way you would want to, if you were going to go into town and get some supplies, you could go this way. You wouldn't even have to get up on the freeway. And a little map of Cordes Lakes. Now take a look at this map. There's a spot I've never tried yet off to the east side of Cordes Lakes. In that map, there's a road that goes off to the east called 3M Ranch Road. And if you look at the map there, it'll show you. But off to the east, that goes back into the Agua Fria National Monument. That's also partially State Trust Land, then turns into Agua Fria National Monument land. And it looked like there's some dispersed camping back in there. So one of these days I'm going to go check it out and try it and see. Now this is looking south towards Phoenix, and like I said, what a view.
Going down that way. See if we can find the river.
What a nut. Yeah, we're going to go find the river. Also had to keep checking my battery to make sure my battery was still running the camera. Bloody Basin Road. And we're going to stop at the Agua Fria River crossing. But there's lots of dispersed camping along this road. Every now and then you'll see a pullout as we're driving along here. Now I did edit some of the footage just because I didn't want this to be like an hour-long video. But we did. There's the little map there of Bloody Basin Road. We're going to stop at the ranch up there. Now coming up here on the right side is a really great little spot. I love this little spot up here. One of these days I want to come back and grab this spot. What a view up here. It's kind of close to the road, but there's room enough you could probably get back a little farther, but right where that pickup truck and trailer were, that was a nice little spot. I think it's a nice little, it's kind of close to the road. I guess that might be something to think about. If it's windy and you get dust and stuff, it might be a problem. There is some traffic on this road. A lot of people do come and take this all the way to Sheep's Crossing. This is the nice section of the road. Now, I've heard, and we didn't go farther enough back, there's another little spot right off to the right there. So there are little camping spots all along Bloody Basin Road between here and the ranch up here, the Agua Fria River. In fact, there's a few more past where we stop at that we didn't even get to. And dispersed camping's allowed anywhere in here where there's a site, as long as you're within, or as long as you stay 200 feet away from a water source. Like, you're not allowed to really camp on the Agua Fria. I'll show you that in just a minute. But check this road out. I mean, this is a nice road. You don't really need four-wheel drive to get back here. And like I said, unless you get off-road and start taking some of the trails, there are some trails that take you to, like, there's an Indian ruins called La Plata, which is down a little farther. It's like an old home place or a fort. That's an old ruins back there, and it's really kind of neat if you go a little farther back. And I think that was a milepost 5. If you rewind that a little bit, it'll show you, and there's a little spot right off the other side of that cattle guard. A lot of folks come out here to do overlanding. It is about 35-40 miles from the freeway to Sheep's Crossing. And it's not a trip that, don't expect to make that trip in a stock vehicle. I'll just tell you that right now. This part of the road is nice, but you get back a few miles, there's another little camp spot right there off the right. If you start getting back past the ranch coming up here in a minute, then it starts to get rough. And the road begins to get rougher and rougher. Rougher and rougher, yes. Rockier and rougher. Rocky roads. And there are places where you do need four-wheel drive, or highly recommended. There's another little camp spot off to the left. All of these spots are easy to get to, though. You don't need four-wheel drive in here. And the sheriff was out here, and she was a nice lady. She stopped up. We made a pit stop up ahead, and she talked to us. She even gave me a map. I thought that was really nice, and told us that this was her first week being assigned out here. I thought, wow, what a great assignment. She was kind of scared, though, because she said, I've never been out here before. I'm not familiar with the area. So it's her first week trying to get familiar with the Bloody Basin Road area. And her job, she told us, her job is to check for people staying past the 14-day stay limit. So, yeah, sheriffs do come out here and check. And basically just make sure people aren't hanging their laundry out and staying longer than 14 days. And make sure they're not making messes and stuff. That seems to be a big problem. My other video from the week before, we ran into a spot where there was trash all over. It was terrible. I just can't believe people would come out to a place like this and leave trash like that. This area is usually well kept. We didn't see any trash anywhere. There's another little camp spot. Little camp spot right there. Under the power lines, though, I'm not sure if some people probably wouldn't like that. I know some people don't like to be camped under power lines. I've never camped under a power line, so I can't attest to any weird effects, but some people say it messes with their sleep and stuff, so just be aware of that, I guess. And there's the ranch. That's the Horseshoe Ranch. There's a little map there. Now when you get into the ranch area, this is the ranch has been there for years. It's kind of a lease through the Bureau of Land Management, As far as my understanding, it's like the property is leased as a cattle ranch, but it's still treated like private property. That's what the sheriff lady told us. And so no camping within the Horseshoe Ranch area. There's another milepost. I didn't see what number it was, but we're getting pretty close to the river because that's the river valley down up ahead. So probably from this point on, there's no camping until we get past the river. Once you pass the river, there's a little camp spot, about a quarter mile on the other side of the river. We didn't quite go that far. Now, as far as the river goes, you just want to keep your eye on the weather because this winter we had a lot of rain, and this river down through here will run, and it will get pretty deep. What's nice when we get up here, you'll see they have a paved section underneath. When you go across the river crossing has like a little paved area underneath there, so it does give you a little bit of traction. If the water's running more than a foot, you probably won't even see that, but it is there to sort of help give a little bit of traction right in through here. This is the first of many, actually. There's going to be other little creeks and rivers and streams you cross, but this is the Agua Fria. There it is. That was like an inch deep right there, so it wasn't so bad. But sometimes it really does run through there. Just got to be careful. I'd say don't cross it if it's more than like a foot. Unless you really feel confident with your vehicle. Too many people. I've seen too many people get washed down the rivers. We just made a pit stop here at the Agua Fria. Somebody's coming. So I'm gonna get him. This is cool. It's like bugs or something. Gnats, you know.
It's raining gnats.
Yeah. Maybe. That's some big cottonwoods. This is one of the first river crossings. I think there's another one farther, but this is about, we're about 7 miles from the freeway on Bloody Basin Road. We're just going to go probably this far is all we're going to go. But if you take Bloody Basin Road all the way and just keep going, it runs into a place called, way at the end of Sheep's Crossing. Yeah, Sheep's Crossing. And that's about another 30 miles. And a lot of people like to do this trail, do this road like for overlanding, go to Sheep's Crossing, spend the night. There's places to camp. You can camp anywhere along through here. How deep is this? Not too deep, huh? Find any black walnuts? I don't know what's out here, but the last 4 or 5 miles, my allergies have been going crazy. I apologize for my sniffing. Oh, I may sneeze here in a second. Tammy's looking for black walnuts, but I don't think she found any. Did you find any?
Just a very cool thing on that. Ooh, this is slippery. Very cool area to just kind of walk along. Very green. No, I didn't find any black walnuts.
Alright. It's about 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. 5 o'clock at the Agua Fria River. Yep, by the time we got back, it was dinner time. Time to have a little drink and relax. Enjoy the beautiful sunset. And by now,
It's cooling off, yeah.
Yeah, it was starting to cool down. It felt really good. Just beautiful sunsets. Oh, man. Well, hey, everybody. I would wish everybody safe and happy travels wherever you're going. I hope you enjoyed this video and found some useful information on it. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to stay tuned, because in just a minute, I'm going to share some more information at the end of this video for folks who want some information about this. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody. It's Dave. And welcome back. I like to put this at the end of the video so that folks who don't know the area really well can find the Agua Fria National Monument. And we were camping off on the other side on Bloody Basin Road. Let's see if I can zoom in here and show you. There's actually 2 ways to get to the Agua Fria National Monument. Badger Springs down at the south, or Bloody Basin Road at the north here. That's where we were at right here. There's Bloody Basin Road. We were actually camped over here about a mile off the road on the other side, on the west side. But you can also camp on the east side. Let me switch to satellite mode so you can see what I'm talking about here. I want to close that. Now, the first place we went to in the video was Tonaleo Road Trail. And it has a number on some trail maps, but it's not posted here on Google Maps. But there are a couple of spots where you can camp, and it helps if I zoom in. There we go. Right when you turn off on the trail off Bloody Basin Road, there's a couple of spots like that one. There was somebody camped right there. There was somebody camped on the other side of the road there. Back in here, actually a couple spots back in this road. See what I'm saying? There's a lot of little places where you can pull in and camp. And back farther, let me go up the map here. There we go. That was another spot we pulled off there real quick. And then down here on the in this little spot here, there was a gentleman pulled in here with a fifth wheel. Had kind of his own little private little canyon right here. I thought that was pretty cool. Once you start going up this hill, though, it turns into state trust land. And there's another spot here at the top of the hill. Really pretty little spot, but this area right here is state trust land. So just keep that in mind. You'll need a permit. If the sheriff comes by, he might ask you for your state trust recreation permit. Once you go down the hill here, you run into a private residential area. And the other little thing I talked about was if you need supplies, you can drive into town here. This is an easier kind of way. There's a couple little shops in here to go to. Kind of nice little community. It's a little peaceful, quiet little community up here. I mean, their property up here is selling right now, so hey, who knows, you know? I wouldn't mind living up there myself. The gas stations are over here. There's a couple of the Dollar General, McDonald's, a restaurant there, Pilot Station. There's also a new Love Station up here a little farther. Oh, looks like they're building a Azura Healthcare right there. That's kind of cool. And then the Love's gas station. So if you need supplies, there's a couple of areas to get supplies. Now off to the east of Cordes Lakes, this side over here, This is an interesting spot that one of these days I'm going to come out here and do a little checking and see, because it looks like this is state trust land, and it looks like there are places out here that people are camping or have camped. It looks like there's some power lines, but I can see spots. See, this all looks like places where people have ridden around in ATVs and possibly camped. If you go back a little farther, it turns into Agua Fria National Monument again. All this back here. So it's really kind of funny. Arizona's that way. You can go from state trust, BLM, to private land, back and forth again. There is a ranch back in here. Yeah, there it is. Kind of a private little leased ranch back here on 3M Ranch Road. So similar to the other one, the Horseshoe Ranch, you don't want to go around there and camp on that area. There's an old schoolhouse up here. Really some pretty cool things. Arco Sante, kind of neat to go check it out. There's like a little, how do I describe this in just a few seconds? Arco Sante is a little art community of artisans, and you can go there. It's a really nice place to go for the day. They have a little cafe, arts and stuffs there. They also have a bed and breakfast now. So we did go out there and check that out, but one of these days we got to do a little bit more because they were closed down at the time. But yeah, they've got a little bed and breakfast out there now. It's kind of cool. Yeah, Arco Sante. I can't remember who designed that. I have to do a little special on that one these days. But going back down where we were on the trail here, we went to the Horseshoe Ranch. This is the Horseshoe Ranch, and there's the Agua Fria Creek crossing that we went to. There was a little campsite we didn't get to that's down a little farther past the river right here. Let me zoom in. You can see it. There's a little cattle crossing right there. That's a designated camp spot, and you're not really supposed to camp along the creek in here, the river. They'll tell you that on the Agua Fria National Monument webpage. There's a couple spots up here that are designated camping spots. Let me zoom in so you can see. Remember the one on the video where the tower was? That's that one. And then back a little bit, there's actually one that goes in a little farther. This is one of those roads I was telling you about. When you get off road, beware. Just be careful, because it does. I can see right there. There's some little ruts that can be a little bit nasty if it gets raining. So if you get back in there, make sure you got four-wheel drive or just a way to get out in case it does get kind of nasty. But up in the front here on Bloody Basin Road, you're pretty good because this is all graded and maintained. Some little spots. If you go back farther, you want a nice little day trip and you got a four-wheel drive, there was the La Plata. Pueblo La Plata, that's an interesting little thing to go check out. The road to it, though, is a little bit rugged. You can kind of see it on the map here. This is the road that goes to it. And don't expect that road to be maintained. There might be some bumps and stuff, so just beware of that. If you got four-wheel drive or a good ground clearance SUV, you can probably do it. No problem. All right, but it is kind of cool to get back there and see it. The Pueblo La Plata, there's a few pictures here. It shows you what it is. Kind of an old Indian ruins from ancient days. Some beautiful views, though, definitely. All right, let me zoom back out and go back where we were. Switch to satellite mode. There's another way to get to Agua Fria called Badger Springs. We have not done that one yet, but there are some dispersed camp spots along that road as well. So you're allowed to camp on any of these areas where there's some designated little spots to camp, off Bloody Basin Road or off Badger Springs. Let me switch to another map here. This is the Bureau of Land Management website for Agua Fria National Monument. They have maps you can download. This is the one map that the sheriff actually gave us, a really nice map. This is the access map. Let me switch to my next mode here. Hold on. See if I got it. There it is. This is a really nice map. It shows Cordes Lakes. And there's... Okay, let me zoom in there for a second. See on this map where Cordes Lakes is? You see that little light blue area? That's state trust land. right there. But where it turns gold, that becomes the BLM, or the Agua Fria National Monument. All this gold area. And I'm checking the map to see if it shows you where the campsites are on here. It's got little letters here, but I don't know what those letters mean. There's probably a legend up here on the map that'll explain. Let me zoom out. When you do get, oh, there it is. Yep. Ah, parking trailhead, and that's what it means. Okay. Now, when you get to the edge of the Agua Fria right here, this turns into Tonto National Forest. Again, if you go far enough and you start getting off into there, that's when the road starts to get rough. Rough. Yes. That's where the road starts. Once you get past this Horseshoe Ranch, I hear that it gets rough back in here. So just keep that in mind. It does get rocky and rough in parts, but it is a beautiful, beautiful drive. If you have the four-wheel drive and have a high clearance vehicle, it's a nice drive. It goes back about 40 miles to Sheep's Crossing, and there's lots of places along that road there to Dispersed Camp. Don't trust this map because the road doesn't end right there. I know it looks like it does, but what's another map? They've got another map you can download. Let's see if I found. Oh, there it is. This is another one. This is just a simple map of the whole area. The Agua Fria. It's the basically it's almost like a little mini Grand Canyon right through there. It's really pretty, beautiful. We did stop and took a few spots, a few pictures along a few spots there where we got some really nice pictures of it. But if you're coming up from Phoenix, there's a little place called Sunset Point. That's the rest area. So when you get to there, that's kind of your signal that you're getting close to it. All right. So I guys hope you enjoyed this. I found it helpful. Please don't forget to give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and share it, and ring that bell so you'll be notified when I put out more videos in the future. Safe travels. Have a great day. Catch you later. Bye.